Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition is directed by Zack Snyder, starring Henry Cavill returning as Superman and introducing us to Ben Affleck's Batman and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. This is technically the second film in the DC Extended Universe, or the Snyderverse, wherever you kind of see this movie at. For me personally, I think it's both, because technically it was the second in the Extended Universe, and as a part of Zack Snyder's movies, it is the second. And let me just say right now, the reason why I am reviewing the Ultimate Edition of the film and not the theatrical release is because the Ultimate Edition is the completed film. Yes, the movie that was released in theaters was only 2.5 hours long, while the Ultimate Edition is over 3 hours long. With the Ultimate Edition being, the complete movie, the way that Zack had intended to have this movie viewed. And still to this day, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition, or I'll just call it BVS, so I can just keep, that way I don't have to keep saying the long title. BVS, as of right now, is still to this day, and again, judge me all you want, I don't care, because I've had people judge me about this for years. BVS is my favorite superhero film of all time. This movie was everything I wanted it to be. The hype for this movie was absolutely crazy. After seeing Man of Steel, I was very curious to see what Zack was going to do next with Superman. I didn't, at first, I didn't even care. I didn't even care if it was just going to be Superman. As long as Zack Snyder was directing and helping out with it, I'm fine with it. I'm all good if it was just a Superman trilogy. That's fine by me. But then in Comic-Con of 2013, Zack Snyder announced a few weeks after the release of Man of Steel that his sequel was going to include The Dark Knight. Not just a younger, fresh out of the boat Batman, but a darker version of Batman. A Batman that is based on the highly popular graphic novel. If you haven't read this graphic novel, go out and read it right now. Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. That's who Zack Snyder's Batman was going to be like. And the world went nuts. The movie was originally supposed to be released in 2015, but got delayed to 2016. And guys, let me tell you, I was already hyped up enough for Man of Steel, but Batman v Superman was like one of the most hyped up movies ever in my life. And yes, I am saying that because, as far as big movies like Star Wars, Avengers Endgame and Infinity War, I was never more hyped for a movie than Batman v Superman. That's honest to God, 100% true. And just how much anticipation there was this movie when Zack announced that, Wonder Woman was going to be in the movie, that this movie was going to be leading into the Justice League movie, back when Warner Brothers originally had Zack scheduled to direct all these other Justice League movies, and then all that changed. But still, during that time, it was such a very exciting time because, at that time, we were led to believe, I know I just said that so many times, but we were led to believe that DC was going in, its own MCU direction. And I was very excited for that. But, after the release of Dawn of Justice in theaters and all the negative reception, things really started to change. And I'll talk more about that probably in my Justice League video. Or, I'm sorry, cross that out. Justice League. Yes, I am going to be talking about Justice League. I'm not looking forward to talking about that. But I have a lot of stuff planned. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the video, but today we're specifically talking about Dawn of Justice. But there were a lot of fans of Batman v Superman. A lot of people claim that this movie is a masterpiece and that it is really good and not as bad as some people think it is. And I am one of those people that find Batman v Superman to be a very great film. I honestly cannot find any mistakes in this movie. Now, granted, I have said in the past that no movie's perfect. Every movie has its flaws. And, for me personally, the flaws that I find with Batman v Superman is not necessarily with, choices in its story or acting at all. Honestly, it's just some fan things I would have liked to see and elaborated on, but they're not really truly elaborated on because it's meant to be elaborated more in the sequels. But honestly, I can get past all that. And we'll talk more about that later on, but first thing I just want to get out of the way, this is a spoiler-free review of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice because the Snyder Cut is 2 days away. And for those of you that might be trying to get into these movies, I don't want to say any big spoilers. So I'm going to keep things very brief. I'll give a quick synopsis and then overall the things that I really enjoyed about this movie. And just some other things as well because I've been wanting to talk about BVS for a long time. So here's the quick little synopsis. 18 months after the big battle in Man of Steel, where if you're watching this, then spoilers for Man of Steel. 18 months after Superman killed Zod and the whole big destruction happened in Metropolis, Superman is basically on his own journey to be accepted by the world, because there are some people that view him as a hero, that he's actually trying to save the day, while there are still some people that view him as a threat. And they're not sure what to do. But it all still falls in line with what Zack was trying to tell with Superman. If you remember in Man of Steel, there's a quote by Jor-El that says, "The people of Earth will stumble, they will fall, but in time they will join you in the sun." This is the movie where people decide to fall, because there's so many things happening to Superman that people really start to lose their trust in him. And one of the big people in this situation is Bruce Wayne / Batman. Now, for Batman and Bruce Wayne in this story, Batman is really trying to find out a potential bomb threat that could be happening in Gotham City. But after certain things happen with Superman, he decides that he may need to act now in order to save the world from Superman possibly turning evil, because Superman has the power to literally wipe out this Earth. And it leads into one of the greatest gladiator matches in the history of the world: Son of Krypton versus Bat of Gotham. I'll leave it at that. Seriously, guys, if you have not seen Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, please make sure you watch the Ultimate Edition, because it is the complete version of the movie, and everything about that movie, it flows so much better. I actually just watched the movie with my stepdad, because he's never even seen the extended cut of the movie, and he even said it was a million times better than the theatrical cut. Now, for me personally, I still liked the theatrical cut at the time, because one, I didn't think we were going to get an extended cut, but I still liked the theatrical cut nonetheless, because it was still a really great, enjoyable film. And I was still able to piece everything together, because I know a lot of people had a very hard time trying to really grasp what the hell was going on. But for me, I was able to figure it out, and I had no problems. And the extended cut just made everything even easier, and it was still such a joy to watch. So that was the complete plot summary. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Now I'm going to talk about some things that I like, which are non-spoilers. Superman throughout this film, still great. Henry Cavill, to me, is still Superman, no matter what. I think he gives another outstanding performance, because we really get to see him struggle more, because, you know, there are a few people that actually love what he's doing and see him as a hero, but there are some that still kind of hate him, and how he reacts to all that is great. He shows a lot of great emotion, and it's good character building for his character. The big thing for me, I want to talk about Ben Affleck. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, and I have no shame in admitting this. When Ben Affleck was first announced as Batman, I, honest to God, like most people, I didn't see it. I actually thought it might be a bad choice. I was one of those people. But as soon as I saw the very first set photo of him as Bruce Wayne, which was set during the beginning of the movie, all bets were off the table. I got this instinct that I knew he was going to be the absolute best. Ben Affleck is my favorite Batman. I will never deny that. I will always, and I've had people come out and ask me, like, "Oh, who's your favorite Batman? Is it Bale or Keaton?" I'm like, no, it's Affleck. Everything about Ben Affleck's Batman in this movie is absolutely perfect. From the costume being a traditional Batman costume with the gray and black, the fact that it literally looks so similar to The Dark Knight Returns. And that's another thing too. I love The Dark Knight Returns graphic novel. It's such a great story, and that's what Zack based this character on. Because a lot of people were pissed that Batman in this movie, he kills, and he doesn't care. And there's a reason for that, and I don't want to say it because I don't know what's going to happen in the Snyder Cut, but there are some things that give you the hint of the reason why Batman does this. And a lot of people complained a lot about how he did this. Well, here's the thing. One, read The Dark Knight Returns. You'll get a better understanding of that. And number two, there's obvious clues as to why he does it. There's even a still shot of us knowing what this character has been through. And also dealing with Superman. Ben Affleck nailed it. I think, with how much muscle he gained and how he looks terrifying in the suit. And I mean that in a good way, not in like a horrible way. No, he is damn terrifying in that suit. He does a great job playing Batman, especially one scene towards the very ending where he's got like a red light shining on him and all you can see is just his bulk figure. I love that shot. It's an amazing shot. There are so many great shots of Ben Affleck in this movie. God, I fucking love this movie. And another quick thing I want to point, besides that, every other actor does great. Gal Gadot with my Wonder Woman poster. That poster right there is actually the debut poster of her from Comic-Con. I believe it was I think it was 2014 or 2015. I know it's kind of cut because of the camera, but that was her release photo. And she is badass. She is great. She is one of the greatest Wonder Womans ever. Aside from Linda Carter. Linda Carter is great, and Gal Gadot is also great. And we can really get into, like, later on if I want to review the first Wonder Woman in 1984. But in this movie, she's great. And I think she has the best entrance of any superhero of all time. No shame in admitting that, too. It's great. I know everybody says Thor enters Wakanda, but no, for me, Wonder Woman. Now some more things that I really do enjoy this movie. I do enjoy the story. This story is a great continuation of what Man of Steel set up. It deals with the consequences of what happened in Man of Steel because of all that destruction that Superman and Zod caused in that final battle. So the movie picks up with that great. It does a great job introducing us to Ben Affleck's Batman really quickly because, this isn't an origin story for Batman. Oh no, Batman is like towards his end game because he's like in his 40s or 50s in this movie. He's been Batman for over 20 years. He's old. He's at this point he's lost all hope. And even when they introduce like Gal Gadot, like we really don't get much of her story in this movie, but we know enough to know who she is, where she comes from, and the great setup that leads to her first movie, which theoretically speaking is the next movie in the DCU lineup, which is also great. Another thing is the music. Hans Zimmer already delivered a fantastic scoring with Man of Steel, and now Junkie XL comes into the project with him and Hans working on this score. And this score is absolutely amazing. There are so many great pieces, and I got to bring up Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's theme is just the best. I love listening. Like when I'm outside, I'm going for a walk or a little jog. I love listening to that in the background. When I had to go to, when I was in college, I had to take a gym class. And I basically just had to show up and work out for 45 minutes. So I basically just go to the treadmill. Whenever I'd go onto the treadmill, I would listen to that piece of music because just everything about this soundtrack is just amazing. I believe visually the movie is a lot better than Man of Steel. It definitely improves on some things from Man of Steel because, like I said in my Man of Steel review, there is a lot of shaky cam in Man of Steel. Not to the point where I'm annoyed, but, it's there. Batman v Superman, no shaky cam. And if it is, it's not really noticeable at all. So I like how Zack fixed that. But still, I had no problems with it in Man of Steel. But it's not even an issue in Dawn of Justice. Now, I'm essentially fanboying now because I love everything about this movie. There is nothing in this movie that I hate. If you guys really want me to be picky and talk about things that I am upset that I didn't see, there are some of those things. If there's one thing I am upset by, and some people may think, it's stupid or whatever, but this is just my opinion. I would have actually liked to see some flashbacks of Ben Affleck's Batman, With Man of Steel, we got to get glimpses of Clark's life via flashbacks. And I feel like with Ben's Batman, it could have been great. I would have loved to see more flashbacks. And there are definitely some things that we see in this movie that I really would have liked more explanation towards. But the plan was to see those in more of Zack Snyder's Justice League sequels. But now I'm not sure if we're going to get that. I mean, who knows what they're going to show in the Snyder Cut. And believe me, we'll talk more about them when we get there. I would have liked to seen more with Ben's Batman. I feel like flashbacks maybe were needed. But I can't find anything wrong, guys. I really can't. I think it might be a bias. It might just be because I love this movie so much that I don't see any flaws. But I do understand why some people do not like this movie. I get it. We're all entitled to our own opinion. We're all going to have different opinions of movies. And I'm just one of those people that loves everything about Dawn of Justice. It's still to this day my favorite superhero movie of all time. Now, needless to say, I've enjoyed a lot of superhero movies over the past few years. From Marvel, oh my god, Infinity War, Endgame, those are fantastic. All Marvel movies are great. But there's just so much history and hype and just everything that I wanted this movie to be for Batman v Superman that makes it my number one movie of all time. And I remember when I first saw this movie that one of my friends graciously came with me to see the movie opening night. And I thank her for that because I think she knew I was more excited than ever to see this. And I was just blown away. I was absolutely blown away. And I was upset when, like the Rotten Tomatoes jokes were going around, people giving it bad reviews, and I didn't see it. I didn't see any of the negativity. All I saw was greatness. I understood what Zack was trying to tell with this movie and all his hidden symbolisms, the filming, the story, everything works out. And there are a lot of questions. Like I said, this movie is filled with questions that the Snyder Cut is most likely going to answer those questions. And I can't wait to see. But, and we're going to talk more about some things, in the Justice League review that I'm hoping to get done tomorrow before the Snyder Cut comes out. But I might even hold off on my review of the Justice League review because I almost want to watch the Snyder Cut and then go back to Joss Whedon's version and really just be nitpicky on this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but BVS comes first. I'm going to say it again. And I know I've said this so many times, but I love this movie. And I've gotten shit for this movie. Yes, I've had people come up to me saying, you like that movie? It's shit. Why would you watch that? I'm like, 'cause it's epic. And I think it's a masterpiece. And I know people that really aren't DC fans, but I see what Zack was trying to do. And, for the friends of mine that I was able to see this movie with, I'm glad that, they had great reactions to the movie too. I loved taking my friends to see this movie. And again, I'm going to talk more about how I feel about that when we get to Justice League, but yeah. And I don't want to go into spoilers because since, this is leading into the Snyder Cut, and if you're watching this, I really want you guys to just experience all this for the first time for yourselves instead of me ruining it. But please just, as I wrap this review up, please just take this into account. If you liked Man of Steel and you really enjoyed what Zack did with Superman, you're going to love the extended cut of Batman v Superman. You're absolutely going to enjoy it. And I guarantee you that after you watch two of those films, go watch Justice League. And I want you to tell me why it just doesn't work. I'd like that to be a challenge to anybody watching this who maybe has never seen these films or who has heard about, the bad reviews for these two movies and also Justice League. I challenge you right now. Go watch Man of Steel, watch the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman, then go to Justice League. You will be able to tell just from these two movies alone how... Yeah, I'm going to save that. That should be saved for the Justice League review. Let's wrap this up. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice still holds up today. I still think it's an amazing film. It is still my favorite film of all time. I have such fond memories with this movie. And it will forever be one of the greatest superhero movies of all time for me, period. I don't care what anybody else has to say. I love to death. And that's why I'm giving Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition an A+. Because I think it deserves it. And you guys can leave comments down below of some things that maybe I missed, or if you like the movie or hate it, let me know. Maybe we can talk about it. But my personal opinion stands. A+. It's great. No spoilers, so that way you guys can watch this and enjoy it for yourselves. But now that I've covered Man of Steel, I've watched Man of Steel again, I've watched Batman v Superman again, I am ready for the Justice League movie that we were supposed to see in 2017, but that wasn't the case. Now, there are some reviews coming up. Like I said, guys, we're going to talk about the Snyder Cut. But I don't know when that's going to be because it's going to be a long movie, and also because I really just want to sit back and enjoy it. I am going to be talking about the Falcon and Winter Soldier. That video will most certainly go up on Friday. After I watch it, I'm going to get right on that review. But I'm not sure which review is going to come first. Justice League or the Snyder Cut. I haven't decided yet. Because there are certain reasons why I want to do one review first ahead of the other. But we'll just see what happens. But like this video, leave a comment down below. What do you think of Batman v Superman? Don't be afraid to be honest with me. If you hate it, all right, tell me why you hate it. If you love it, tell me why you love it. And I'll see you guys next time for the big one. I don't know if it's going to be the next video up, but still. 2 days until Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'll see you guys next time.